Hello MotoGP fans, welcome back to ZNGP Today. The Spanish Grand Prix at Jerez left fans breathless, and analysts busy. Among the most insightful voices was DAZN pundit Pol Espargaró, who broke down the key moments and mysteries of Sunday's dramatic race. From Marc Márquez's crash to Ducati's triple tumble and KTM's quiet consistency, Espargaró offered a detailed post-race dissection, one that raises as many technical questions as it answers. Honda's comeback bid gained fresh momentum this week as factory riders and wildcard entries took to Jerez for intensive chassis and engine tests. Team manager Alberto Puig, a former world champion himself, broke down the Japanese Marque's development program and lauded Marc Márquez's astonishing return to peak form, suggesting a title win could rank among sport's all-time great comebacks. While the timesheets at Jerez didn't flatter Fabio Di Giannantonio, he finished 18th. The VR46 Ducati rider remains upbeat. The Italian emphasized that the testing day wasn't about speed but about finding consistency and electronic balance. With a strong foundation in sight and a new upgrade potentially debuting at Le Mans, Digia believes steady steps, not radical changes, are the key to staying competitive. In a thrilling Spanish MotoGP, Fabio Quartararo secured second place, holding off Francesco Bagnaia despite riding a slower bike. The performance not only earned him a long-awaited podium but also significant praise from the Ducati rider, who was left impressed by the Yamaha rider's tenacity and skill. Don't forget to click subscribe button and the bell icon for MotoGP news update. Three Ducatis hit the deck on Sunday: Marquez, Aldeguer, and Morbidelli. A rare sight for a brand known for stability and grip. While only Marquez salvaged points, the bigger issue might be what caused these crashes. Espargaró suspects a systemic issue, one Ducati may not have fully diagnosed. Whether it's tire pressure, setup, or heat management, he believes the front-end failures have a deeper root. I think there must be a common denominator. Ducati is a bike that generates a lot of rear grip, and it suffers from the front, Pol Espargaró said. Espargaró dove deeper into tire behavior, a critical but often invisible factor in racing. According to him, front tire pressure, especially in high heat, lower flow conditions like Jerez, is becoming an Achilles heel for Ducati. As pressures spike mid-race, the front end loses grip, making the bike nearly impossible to stop. It's a safety concern, not just a performance one. The front tire pressure shoots up, making it impossible to stop the bike. It's also a problem that can affect safety. One of the early highlights of Sunday's race was the high-speed chess match between Marc Márquez and Pecco Bagnaia. The two champions fought tooth and nail in the opening corners, each knowing that track position meant more than points, it meant survival. With front tire temperature being so critical, getting clean air was a strategic necessity. They both knew the importance of being in front of each other to absorb cold air and avoid Marc's problem. KTM's riders may not have grabbed headlines, but they quietly put together a rock-solid performance. All four bikes finished in the top 9, led by Maverick Vinales in fourth. Espargaró pointed out how difficult overtaking was in Jerez, but the Austrian machines still made progress, managing their gaps and pace with discipline. Even with a slow start, they lost just 5 seconds to the leaders overall. That's a very good result, so let's hope they'll start to improve on these results here in Europe. Pol Espargaró's breakdown of Jerez proves that in MotoGP, the story isn't just what happens on the track, it's why. As Ducati faces technical questions and Yamaha and KTM rise, the European leg of the season promises not just drama, but a real fight for supremacy. Honda's Jerez test saw engineers divide efforts across frame geometry and power unit refinement. After factory riders sampled new solutions during the GP weekend, Monday's session zeroed in on chassis tweaks designed to sharpen turn-in response and mid-corner stability, areas Puig identified as critical to Honda's revival. We tested some very important components, both at the chassis and engine level. Some solutions had already been tested over the weekend by the factory riders, while in the test we focused especially on the chassis area, Alberto Puig said. Although framework took center stage, Puig stressed that power delivery remains Honda's key point. Test duties were split, Joan Mir tackling engine-related trials, Marini working on chassis, to accelerate simultaneous progress across both fronts. The engine is one of the key points. We already know that there are aspects that don't work as they should. That's why it was essential that both factory drivers participate in the tests. Therefore, we are testing the new engine in parallel, dividing the tasks to optimize everything. Pol Espargaró's Jerez wildcard ride provided fresh perspective. Puig welcomed the Spaniard's frank feedback. While not wholly satisfied with engine and chassis feel, Espargaró's input highlighted areas for further refinement and underlined the value of diverse test riders. Alex told us that he was not 100% satisfied with the sensations of both the engine and the chassis, but it is nothing serious, it is simply the opinion of the driver. Reflecting on Marc Márquez's rapid resurgence, Puig pointed out that combining the sport's best rider with competitive machinery inevitably yields top results. He was astonished by those who doubted such an outcome, given Márquez's pedigree and support system. I honestly, when I looked at what people were saying last year, I couldn't understand how someone didn't think that when you put the best rider there is on the best bike there is, the result is this, what we're seeing. Puig reserved his most emphatic praise for the possibility of Márquez clinching the 2025 title. Overcoming multiple years of injury setbacks and returning to peak performance at an age when many athletes decline would, Puig argued, constitute one of the greatest comebacks in sports history. If Marc manages to win this championship, I think it would be one of the biggest achievements in sport on a global scale. As Honda's development push continues and Marc Márquez leads Ducati's charge, the paddock now eyes the upcoming European rounds. With chassis and engine upgrades in hand, and Puig's belief in a landmark title on the horizon, the 2025 championship battle promises both technical intrigue and sporting drama. Giannantonio's main priority at Jerez was not chasing lap times but working through Ducati's development program. With team engineers and his crew chief, he focused on understanding the electronics and establishing a clear direction after an inconsistent race weekend. We focused on working closely with the team manager and the electronics engineer. The goal was to understand the direction we should take to have a solid foundation, Fabio Di Giannantonio said. 18th on the timesheets doesn't worry the Italian, who said a time attack simply wasn't part of the day's agenda. The emphasis was on repeatable performance and system checks. Despite a crash, caused by extreme wind conditions, Di Giannantonio escaped unharmed. We didn't need a time attack because our priorities were different. I fell because of the strong wind. I tried to brake as usual, but I lost the front wheel. Luckily, nothing happened. Among Ducati's updates tested was one part Di Giannantonio hopes to carry into the next round in France. Though he didn't specify the part, he confirmed at least one component felt promising and could help build on his early season form. Today I worked on a couple of things Ducati brought, one of which turned out to be an improvement, and I hope to use it at Le Mans. Despite trailing teammate Franco Morbidelli in the standings, both riding different spec Ducatis, Di Giannantonio isn't calling for drastic adjustments. Confidence and continuity remain his focus, with fine-tuning taking priority over revolution. We don't need any major changes, because I feel very good on the bike. I have confidence. The only thing I have to do is maximize performance. Ducati also brought a new lever system linked to suspension activation. While still in the early evaluation phase, it represents another step in the Bologna factory's tireless search for marginal gains. Though even Di Giannantonio admits only Gigi Dall'Igna knows for sure what's next. It's one of the innovations Ducati brought. We need time to know if it will be useful, because we're not sure. With his eyes set on Le Mans and his head in the right place, Fabio Di Giannantonio is carving a measured path through the 2025 campaign. No overhauls, just refining what's already working. And if the upgrades click in France, VR46 could have both bikes in the fight. Fabio Quartararo's defense of second place in the Spanish Grand Prix has turned heads. The Frenchman was in a constant battle to maintain his position, with Bagnaia unable to make a successful pass, even after closing the gap to mere fractions. For Bagnaia, who had the superior Desmosedici GP25, Quartararo's resilience was nothing short of remarkable. "That with a slower bike than mine. Mine is a bike that allows me to win or to overtake easily every rider. He was doing an amazing job," Francesco Bagnaia said. Bagnaia highlighted Quartararo's strengths in the fast corners and braking zones, areas where the Yamaha rider was able to extract maximum performance from his bike, preventing the Ducati rider from closing in for an overtake. "He was really strong in fast corners, he was really strong in the braking, was squeezing every detail of his bike and was super fast, and I cannot get close." Despite Bagnaia's attempts to catch him, Quartararo showed exceptional defensive skills throughout the race. Even when Bagnaia thought he might be able to overtake, the Frenchman's smooth exits from corners and rapid acceleration kept him ahead. "Even if I was arriving to him, like 0 seconds, I was quite sure that exiting from the last corner or on the other straight I was overtaking him easily on the straight. But it was not the case because everywhere he was exiting so smooth, so fast, and he was really strong." For Quartararo, this podium finish marks his first since the 2023 Indonesian GP, a relief after a challenging period. His resilience was a key factor in holding off one of the sport's best, earning him the recognition he deserved after a flawless ride. Bagnaia's third-place finish in Spain, his third of the season, means he is still very much in the championship hunt. Thanks to a DNF for his teammate Marc Márquez, Bagnaia has reduced his deficit to the championship lead to just 20 points as the series heads to Le Mans in mid-May. After Márquez's DNF, the gap to the championship lead is now 20 points. "We will keep pushing for more at Le Mans," concluded. With the French Grand Prix on the horizon, both Quartararo and Bagnaia are in prime form. The fight for the title looks set to intensify as the riders head to Le Mans, where every detail could make the difference. Thanks for watching ZNGP Today, and this is your MotoGP news update. And see you next time!